Hello, so since we are all stuck at home and you have to do some work, I have prepared some factoring review for you to do. There are 10 questions here. I have more, but they'll be for tomorrow. What I want you to do right now is to try to work on these questions on your own. So please take out a piece of paper, a notebook, and take out your pen and try your best to factor all of these 10 questions. Now, questions 1 to 5 is factoring, and then questions 6 to 10 is solve. So, in case you forgot what those are, you might want to refer to your previous notes. Factor is putting it into those brackets, and then solve is to find what x equals to by factoring first and then setting it equals to 0. Okay, so pause the video now, and then I will go through the solutions in a moment. So I assume you have already done the questions. I am going to oh, the numbering goes wonky when I do that, but I guess it doesn't really matter. So I will go through all of these questions. First question, how to factor this? Well, we have x squared minus x minus 20. And so we would do 1, 1. Remember the cross method that I taught you all. How do we get 20? That's going to be 4 times 5. And then we got to figure out how to get minus x in the middle. That's going to be plus 4x and minus 5x. So this is going to be minus. So when we factor this, it's going to be x plus 4 at the top, and then x minus 5. And then let's check that we've done it correctly by multiplying it out again. So x squared minus 5x plus 4x, that gives us minus x. And then that will be minus 20. So this is correct. That's question 1. This is, can I change this back to question 2? Seems like 2. Ah, that works. Good. Question 2. Let me make some space. This one, we have 14x squared. So I'm going to have to split this into 7 and 2. And then 5 is going to be 5 and 1. And then I want to figure out a combination of 7 times 1 and 2 times 5, which will give me plus 3x in the middle. So 7 times 1 will be 7x. 7. Oh, we want 10 minus 7. That works. So 10 minus 7 will give me positive 3. So 2 times 5, 7 times 1. It just so happened I drew it correctly the first time. And then I got to figure out which one is plus, which one is minus. I need plus 10 minus 7. So that's going to be minus here. So let me write that up. 7x plus 5, 2x minus 1. And then let's check our answers. We have 7x times 2x is 14x squared. 7x minus 1 is minus 7x. And then we have plus 10x, which will result in plus 3x. And then 5 times minus 1 is minus 5. So that is also correct. This is question 3. So for this one, we have x's and y's. It doesn't matter. We still do the same thing. But first of all, I can factor out a 2 because they're all even numbers. You see, they are even numbers. So I can take out 2, and then this, oh, it's so thick. Let me change, yeah, this one. This one better. 2 bracket, this becomes 6x squared minus 2xy. Oh, I can take out more than 2. I can take out 4, actually. 4. And then this becomes 3x squared minus xy minus 2y squared. And then I just have to factor this one, in which this is just 3, 1, and then 2, 1. So this is going to be minus 3 and then plus 2, which will give us minus 1 in the middle. There's minus 1 right here. This is minus 1. So this becomes 3x plus 2y. That's going to be 3x plus 2y, and then this will be x minus y. Sorry about the traffic outside. Can you guys hear the beeping sounds outside? I can hear it really loud over here. Yeah. Anyways, let's check that I've done it correctly. 3x squared, that's correct. And then we have minus 3xy, and then plus 2xy, which will result in minus y. And then we have minus 2y squared, so that is also correct. This one is question 4. So immediately when I see this, there's only 2 terms, which means this is going to be a x plus y bracket x minus y equals to x squared minus y squared. I can already factor it this way. So my first term, this is going to be just x squared minus, this is going to be 7y whole squared, because 7 squared is 49, and then y squared is y squared. And then this can factor into x plus 7y, and then x minus 7y. And that's it. So this one is fairly easy. And then question 5. This one has a little bit more steps. Now, if you remember, there was one lesson where we substituted a as something. So in this case, I'm going to set a as x minus 1. This whole bracket here is going to be a. So I'm going to rewrite this whole this equation as a squared minus 2a minus 35. And then I just do the same thing as before. This is 1, 1. This is 35. It's going to be 7 times 5. So I have 7, 5 here. I need to get minus 2 in the end. So it's going to be negative 7 plus 5. I need more space. And then all I have to do is write it out. A minus 7 and then a plus 5. Let me double check to see if I've done it correctly. So that will be a squared plus 5a minus 7a, which is minus 2a, and then minus 35, so that's correct. And then lastly, we have to substitute x minus 1 back into a. So this will be, chose the wrong color again, wrong thickness. This will be x minus 1 minus 7, and then we have x minus 1 plus 5, and then remove out the brackets, and then that will be x minus 1 minus 7, which is x minus 8, and then this x minus 1 plus 5 is x plus 4. And that is the final answer. That's questions 1 to 5. Do I need a break? I probably do need a break. I'm running out of saliva, but I can probably go on to question 6. Make sure you always check your work along with me. Don't just watch me like a TV show and not do anything. Check your work as I am going through the solutions with you. And always feel free to pause the video anytime you need to catch up with your work as well. And then for questions 6 to 10, solve and determine the real roots and verify your answer for question 6. So what do I have to do? First thing, I have to factor this. So this is going to be 1, 1. This is negative 15 will be 3 times 5. And then how to get negative, it's minus 5 like this. And so this becomes x plus 3, x minus 5. And then we want to set this to 0. Make sure I check this first. This is x squared minus 5x plus 3x, which is minus 2x, and then minus 15. So set this to equals to 0. So my two solutions will be, remember, if you forgot, this is x minus 5 equals to 0, and x plus 3 equals to 0. Both of them are equal to 0. And then this is x equals to 5, and then x equals to negative 3. So x equals to 5 or negative 3. And then it says verify your answer. We have to check whether it actually does make sense. So how to do that? I'm going to substitute in 5 into my equation. 5 squared minus 2 times 5 minus 15, and I'm going to check whether it is equal to 0. That's 25 minus 10 minus 15, and so that would result in, whoops, let me give myself more space. 25 minus 10 minus 15 is equal to 0, so x equals 5 is correct. And then let's check for 3, negative 3. Negative 3 squared minus 2 times negative 3 minus 15, and that will be 9. Minus times minus will be plus 6, and then minus 15 equals to 0, so they are both correct. And so x equals to 5 or negative 3. Okay, so you verified your answer for question 6. Moving on to question 7. We have 6x squared minus 5x equals to 4. The first step is I want to move all my numbers to one side. So I'll move it all to the left. 6x squared minus 5x minus 4 equals to 0. So I just move this over and then change the sign to negative. And then we do the same thing as before. So 3 times 2, and then we have 2 times 2. Let's see if this works. How do I get negative 5? Can I have 6 and 4? Not really. Maybe it's going to be a 4 and 1. Let me try 4 and 1. 4 and 1. So we will have 8 minus 3. Oh, minus 8 plus 3. So this works. Okay, so sometimes you just got to trial and error, see which one works, which one doesn't, and then to see which combinations will get you the middle number as desired. So this one should work. So we have plus 3 minus 8, that will end up as minus 5. So let's write it out. 3x minus 4, and then 2x plus 1. And then let's just double check to be sure. 3x times 2x equals to 6x squared, and then we have plus 3x, and then minus 8x, and then this is minus 4, and so plus 3x and minus 8x will result in minus 5x. So this is correct. Okay, so our intermediate step is correct, and then lastly we just got to solve the equation. And so to solve the equation, you set this whole equation to equals 0. So we have on one side 3x minus 4 equals to 0, and on the other side we have 2x plus 1 equals to 0. And so this is 3x equals 4, x is equal to 4 over 3. And then you have 2x equals to negative 1, x equals to negative half. I don't think you need to verify your solutions for this question, question 7, because the original question didn't say so. Let's just move on. This is just a review, and tomorrow we will do some similar questions, slightly harder. Question 8. We have 64x squared minus 169 equals to 0. There's two terms, and it's an x squared minus y squared kind of format. So 64 is the same as 8 squared, so I can write this as 8x whole squared minus, this is 13 squared, and so this is equal to 0, and then I can write this as 8x plus 13, and then 8x minus 13 equals 0, and then you solve it. So on one end we have, let me make myself more space again. On one side we have 8x plus 13 equals to 0, and on the other side we have 8x minus 13 equals to 0. So 8x is equal to negative 13. Let me get rid of the 8 straight away and put it down here, and then we have x is equal to 13 over 8. So these are our two answers. So just x is equal to positive or negative 13 over 8. So that is the final answer for question 8. And then for question 9, last two questions, we're almost there. We have 6x squared plus 2x minus 4. They are all even numbers, so always quickly check that all the numbers are even, and then you can factor that out. So 2 of 3x squared plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. And then factor out the inside. The inside factored will be 3, 1, and then we have 2 and 1. How do we get a plus? In the end, it's going to be 3 minus 2. Okay, so 3 minus 2, so it's going to be 2 bracket, and then 3x minus 2, and then x plus 1 equals to 0. And then we have two sides to this equation like before. The 2 doesn't matter because all we want is either of these brackets to equal 0. So we have 3x minus 2 equals to 0 on one side, and then we have x plus 1 equals to 0 on the other side. Then 3x is equal to 2, x is equal to 2 over 3. And then we have x equals minus 1 on the other side. And so when we write out our final answer, we say x is equal to 2 over 3 or negative 1. Last question. Hooray! Question 10. So we have here 9x squared plus 6x plus 1 equals to 0. And so we have 9, 1, and then how does this work? I'm a little bit stuck too. Oh, it's probably 3, 3, and then 1, 1. That's right. Yeah. Oh, it's just a perfect square. Whoops, my bad. Silly me for not being able to see that. So that's 3x plus 1 whole squared. And how do you know that's correct? Well, let's just multiply out just to make sure. 3x plus 1. And then we have 3x squared. Well, sorry, 3 times 3, which is 9x squared. And then plus 3x plus another 3x, that will give us 6x. And then plus 1 equals to 0. And so x is equal to, 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 1 over 3. And I think that is it for all 10 questions. So check your answers. Make sure you get yours. If you don't know how to do them, go over the solutions carefully and then redo them again. And then tomorrow I will come up with a new set of questions as well for you. Okay, goodbye.